About the intensity of training camp, now that we're getting down to the last couple of practices, obviously some of the players have mentioned they're getting tired of hitting each other.
Sure. I mean, you go through all these, you go through OTAs, you go through mandatory mini camp, you go through training camp. These guys are going against each other every day. So, I think typical training camp stuff, the guys are, flying around today. We had full pads on, got a little physical out there. So I think that's kind of chalking up to training camp. This is the time of year. So the preseason game's coming at a good time. We can hit somebody else.
What do you look for in the second preseason game after having a chance to look at the film from Thursday night?
Yeah, I mean, special teams wise in particular, you're looking for the younger players in particular to make big time strides. You always hear that game 1 to game 2 analogy, and I think it's true, but really for the younger guys, there's a lot of younger players that hadn't played a lot of special teams before. Forget about here or anywhere. And so, you're looking for those guys to kind of, make that jump, the next step in the progression. I think there was a lot of good efforts out there the other night, from a lot of good younger guys, but want to see improvement. We're not there yet. There's some younger guys that we're, really trying to evaluate. So that's going to be the big thing for those guys.
So who stuck out to you on Thursday night?
There was a bunch of guys that flashed. The one thing we got to be is more consistent. But there were some guys across the board. There was a bunch of younger guys that, probably made some plays in the open field. As I think through, the running back position, those two guys, Buddy and Kalen and Sonoris, those guys all played pretty well. Rashawn Scott and the receiver group had a pretty good job, did a good job the other night. On the defensive side, a bunch of the younger guys, again, all flash at times. It was kind of a little bit too much of a roller coaster for me. I want to see more consistency. So no one's a finished product just yet at this time of the year. So just again looking for that improvement.
So what do you say is Quentin Poland and his role on special teams?
Well, Quentin's a guy that's going to, obviously he's a guy that came in and was a guy that could move around on film and could really flash his speed and ability. And so he's a guy, again, that played a lot of defense in college, not a ton of special teams. And so, again, he's a guy we're evaluating. He was one of those guys that falls right into that roller coaster. He had some good plays the other night, but he had some plays that we can't have on film. And so, again, we're going to get him a lot of plays here these next few weeks. But he probably had the most special teams reps of anybody the other night. So we got at least a good evaluation on film.
As far as the adjustment to the new kickoff rules, how is everybody handling that, and how long do you think that'll take?
I got to be honest with you, I think it went pretty smooth. Got a chance to watch that Hall of Fame game to kind of see that first glimpse of it, and then obviously with our game, and I was a little bit concerned about some of the intricacies, but I think I'll tell you what, I thought it looked pretty clean. I think what you're seeing now, if you look through, there's a lot of returns in the preseason. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the regular season, but I thought the dynamics, logistics of the play, I thought everything looked pretty good. I think it's going to be a much more wide open play, a lot of faster guys on the field, not just us but around the league, and so I think it's been pretty good so far.
Coach, what are you looking to see out of your kickers going into the second preseason game and the third week of training camp now?
Yeah, really same thing with them as everybody else, just improvement. It's good they both got that first kick out of the way. Neither of them's first rep was very good. Greg kicked the ball out of bounds, and although Jason had plenty of leg on that 53-yarder, he obviously pulled it a little bit. I think he was a little excited. The good thing for both guys is they really bounced back. The rest of the game they played very well. It's kind of like they had to get that first one from under their belt, and then they both did well. So again, want to see them have a better start to the game. Want to see both guys just keep improving. I'm really happy with where they are. Last couple of days, both guys have had great practices, and so I'm happy with their progression. But again, we got 3 more preseason games for those guys, and so you just kind of want to see the improvement, steady improvement. Leading up, and you want to kind of hit your peak, in the first week of the regular season.
Can you foresee it one of those guys to be a starting NFL kicker come week 1?
Oh, listen, they both have the talent to do it. There's no doubt about it. And I think you saw the other night, kind of like I said, once they got that first one out of there, that's kind of what they've been throughout training camp. There's no doubt about both guys have NFL ability. It's just a matter of putting it together week after week and consistency. I'm overall pleased with their first performance. I think both guys will kick in the NFL. They do.